proper view. Okay, so welcome everybody. My name is Vikas, and with me here is we have Jitendra, Rhythm, and Krishnam. So everybody is in the lockdown, and as far as oil ending expeditions are concerned, most of it has been either postponed or it has been cancelled. So we are trying to interact with students whom we have worked with, and also like we have done expeditions with them. So 2 years back when we did Shimla to Spiti expedition, uh, we rode we mountain bike from Shimla to Spiti, which is more than almost, it is approximately 450 kilometers. And later on after Kaza, Spiti, we crossed Kunzum Pass as well, which is at the height of approximately 5,000 meters. So that was a very difficult ride to do. And with us, we had Krishnam and Rhythm on that ride, and now we are going to talk and ask few questions with them. How was the ride? How was the experience? So I will ask question to each of you alternatively, and then you can reply, right? So let's start. Krishnam, I would like to ask you first. Tell me about little bit about yourself. Like, what do you do? How has life been? How has life been up to now? And let me a little bit of introduction about yourself.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the great welcome speech, Vikas, sir. My name is Krishnam Parwar and I'm from Kanpur. I am 18 years old and I'm nearly out of school. I have still 2 exams left since this entire pandemic thing happened. I have spent the last 6 years of my life at the Sindhya School, which is a boarding school in Gwalior. And 2 years back, I did a cycling expedition from Shimla to Kaza and then to Manali with OLND. And I feel it was a life-changing experience for me. And from that time, I have had a seed of going outside and exploring. So I feel that I am an adventurer. I feel that I do good outside. I feel that cycling has been a part of life since then, and it's great. Then that should be about it.
Okay. Yes, Rhythm. Tell me about yourself. Like, what do you do? What has been life been up till now after the expedition? Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir. My name is Ringo Preja. I graduated from Sindhya School, like it's nearly been like 53 days. I can count it out on my fingers, but yeah. So it's been really fun. So basically, adventure is something that makes me come alive. Each time I've done several expeditions before. I've been for an expedition to Mount Everest Base Camp. I've done a skiing expedition. I've done a cycling expedition. And right now, like I was supposed to be an expedition from in the United States of America, from Seattle to San Francisco, but I nearly missed it out because of what's happening around. So, you know, I think adventure for everyone is a different thing. And it's for me, it's like, it gives me life. It helps me to live out a life better than the prevailing schedule that I've had, and that's it. I was a commercial studies student with mathematics. I plan to join New York University, Abu Dhabi this fall. Yeah, that's all about it. Thank you so much.
Okay. As adventurous as both of you are, one question which is very inevitable, which I really wanted to ask, that why do you like adventure? Rhythm, you can start.
Okay, as I said before, it's something that lets me get outside of my comfort zone and, live a life that has a meaning, basically. It's not just like, sitting at home doing nothing or doing the same stuff that everyone can do around. So it's something that, makes you unique, makes you feel special in the rest of the world because you are the one who's doing it. You are the one out of like, I don't know, 7 billion population. I don't think like even like 1 or 5 million people do that kind of things in the entire globe. So that's something that separates you from the rest of the people, letting you get outside your comfort zone. And then it's also about the people you meet there. It's nice, to talk to people about it and then to find some common ground and common space. It makes you realize what life is beyond a four-walled room, beyond a classroom, beyond everything that's there.
Okay, great. Krishna, would you like to take up this question? Why do you like adventure?
Yes,
And
definitely.
I remember both of you are leading that expedition is, because I was there with you, and I remember like more out of all the out of everybody, both of you are leading. Where you are in the forefront of the expedition. So that's why my whole my whole motive of asking this question is like, what made you adventurous? Why do you like it?
So at the outset, I feel that I belong to a very non-adventurous family. My family is extremely simple and they're not really into adventure. But when I joined the Sandhya school, they take people for camps, to rafting camps, for example, and such cycling expeditions like this one, which I just attended. So I feel these things pushed me and forced me to go the extra mile. And once I experienced something new like adventure and cycling, I feel that just like what he said, what Rhythm said, I felt alive. I felt that I was doing something extraordinary. I felt that I was doing something which was making me happy. And the following year, I took another expedition in the Spiti Valley as well. And when I say this, I'm speaking for me and Rhythm both, because we both went for a service project in Spiti. So we spent a good amount of 15 to 20 days there, and we helped build a greenhouse. So I feel that the seed of adventure was laid in our minds at the Sindhya school, at the Spiti cycling expedition. And that is why I'm mostly attracted to adventure, because it is something that makes you feel like a superhero. Your body feels like a superhero, I feel so.
Great to hear that. Yeah, I can resonate with your answers. So let's move on to the next question, and let's be specific. I mean, let's go back to 2018 when we rode from Shimla to Spiti. So tell us more about the mountain biking expedition from Shimla to Spiti. What are the challenges you faced?
Okay, so the biggest challenge that I am an asthma patient, okay? Since childhood, I have been slightly towards the problems of breathing and, breathlessness. And cycling on those high altitudes with great elevation and breathless cycling was something that I faced as a challenge. But since it was backed up with a beautiful, breathtaking view, I feel that all the problems were disappeared.
Okay,
And
okay,
I feel that what I've learned out of this expedition is that your body can go as far as your mind tells it to. It is
great,
all in here. It is all in the mind. If your mind says that go forward, you can do it, then you can do it. And that is what I did.
great to hear that, because I also resonate with that. You always limit yourself with your mind, and not your body is capable of everything. Rhythm, would you like to speak anything? Like, what are the challenges you faced? What did you like about the adventure, that Shimla Spiti expedition, cycling
Yeah,
expedition?
so basically, thank you for the question again. What I observe is that, mountain cycling or biking is some sort of thing that, you know, you have to do continuously. It's not a thing which you can like just complete in like a day or two. So consistency is a very important aspect in mountain biking. For example, like one day you ride on a bicycle and then second day it's so difficult to even sit in the seat, every part
Yes,
of your body pains as if like, it's just different. And it's not something you find at home, while you're sitting and doing nothing else. So it's something you learn out of it, that how to go on even with struggling, and then how your friends help you out when everyone is in pain, and then how you still have that aspiration that when you reach another place, you have to visit that place out. Apart from the cycling expedition, it was even like, I visited some of the places for the first time in my life. And I don't think so I'll ever go there again. But I wanted to explore all the places that I visited, from the high terrains, lower terrains, higher altitude, breathlessness, as Krishna mentioned before, and then high altitude sickness. So these are some of the
okay,
problems which generally like people face. Apart from that, I guess it's more of a learning aspect than of a problem facing aspect. So I guess it was just fun, I would recommend everyone to at least do something of this sort once in their lifetime.
And I hope that you will agree with me that Jitendra sir and Vikas sir made sure that there should be no problems in the entire expedition and we all were
Yeah,
cool at all times.
yeah, I remember, so would the sort, cooking is good food after that long stretchable bicycle ride. So very cooperative and supportive. I
Fond.
agree with it.
The best food that I've ever had was when we reached Nako and we were served with chai and pakoras. That was the best,
Yeah.
that best time.
Yeah, we also have a lot of fond memories of that expedition. So moving on to
Actually,
next.
guys,
Yes,
because
go
I'll
ahead.
just do a follow-up question. I mean, yeah.
Yes, yes.
So just from the same thing which they answered. So, guys, did you when you signed up for this expedition? Okay, did you do any homework at your end? Because as Krishnam had said that he was asthmatic or he is, and for rhythm also it was first time. So did you guys? I mean, even though just going with our information, did you just went online and checked about it? Like, just wanted to know if you did any research about it.
Yes, definitely. So we did this expedition just before our summer vacation. So we were in our summer break, and it was 2 months in the summer break. So we did a lot of physical work like cycling in the morning, gym, swimming, and all the physical exercises that could have expanded our lungs and made us ready for the cycling expedition that we were about to take. And of course, I talked to my doctor about this, and he said that it might help you, and they have all the medical facilities that you might require at that point of time. So I feel that I did my research, I did my homework, and after that I went forward with it.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, because preparation is very much important for if you are undertaking expedition like this, because it's a multi-day, high altitude, long hours of cycling every day, and that too surviving on that altitude is a difficult task. So moving on, I wanted to ask that if you remember, like we all remember that when we reached Spiti, after Spiti, uh, we started riding towards Kunzum Pass, which is at the height of 5,000 meters. And so like crossing passes and going to such high altitude on a cycle, it's a Herculean task in itself. So what made you, I wanted to ask that what motivated you for that challenge? What kept you going? Because we know there were no roads, and first we had a long uphill to go, and then downhill are more critical. So what was going in your mind that day when you're cycling Kunzum Pass, if you like to recall? Okay, Ridham,
We can
would you
take
like
this
to take
question,
this question?
Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to.
Anybody. I mean, you, Krishnam, anyone.
Okay, cool. I'll start. Uh, I think when you're there, when you're actually like cycling, for us, like if you're sitting here in their, in their respective houses, it feels like it's very difficult. But when you're really out there, you have this in your mind that you have to do it, and there's no other option except for you about thinking yourself out there, like there on a specific path, like how would it feel when you reach there. So it's more about reaching to a specific destination than thinking about it already in your mind. So what motivates, I guess it's like for all of us, uh we I don't think we would like give up on something of this sort. We would like to complete what's there, like challenge our own physical boundaries and then see what's really there. So this isn't something, this feels like very difficult task, but when you're really there out there, like cycling, it feels better and easy, and it's more competitive because everyone is of our age and background, and then you're cycling all along, riding in the beautiful serene mountains, so it just feels very good. That's it.
Well, I feel that the very fact that we were there and the very fact that we signed up for this expedition, we were there for a purpose, and the purpose that must be achieved. So if we were
Yeah.
there at the Kunzum Pass and we had to cross it on the bike, not on the foot, not in the van, we had to do it. We were determined, and you guys pushed us to the limit and demanded the best in us. So I feel that we as a team could do it all together. If I had been alone, or if Rhythm had been alone, I don't feel that we would be so determined to successfully achieve it. But since we were in a team, and since we were there for a purpose and we had to accomplish it no matter what, our body, our mind were in sync, and we just went for it. I feel
Yeah,
so. Yeah.
absolutely correct.
Cool. I mean, pushing yourself on that day is very critical because, like, we have conducted a lot of expeditions, and we have seen uh, people surrendering before a Herculean task. But keeping yourself, and not many people have, been able to do it, but yeah, people who do really, I think, really learn a lot from that process, from that journey. So my next question is about learning. Like all out of all the adventures you have done, like adventure of this sort, like riding from Shimla to Spiti, crossing passes, has it changed you as a person? Do you take any inspiration from adventures or experiences like this?
Definitely, I feel that I'll start with an example. On the fourth day, when we had a huge downhill course, a friend of ours, Sundaram, if you
Yeah.
remember, sir,
Yes, yes, we remember.
he got hurt his entire
Yes.
hand because he used the front brake rather than using both the brakes in the downhill. So his cycle flipped. This is
Okay.
something that you should know, and this is something that you had already taught us, but he didn't pay attention at that time, so his loss. So uh, the entire team stayed there, waited for him, made sure that everything was all right, made sure that the medical attention was provided to him, and after that we moved forward. We might have to compromise some end day, because at that day I feel that we could not complete the entire thing, and we had to pass it by the bus. We had to, you know, drop the cycles and take the bus for at least half an hour. But it was all right. It was worth it because we as a team were all together. And
Yes.
teamwork, I feel, is the most important part here, because uh, I still remember that when we were on the road, the person in front of you would give you a signal that there's gravel on the road here, so take care, be cautious about it. So,
Yes.
and we would just pass on the message. So there was a lot of teamwork during the entire expedition, and I feel that is something that I've thoroughly learned. And the very fact to be determined and keep going is the best learning that I have got out of this expedition.
Cool. Yes, Rhythm. Anything you want to share?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess a very important part is, to push yourself, and then teamwork is absolutely necessary. With that, you learn how to adjust in different boundaries, different circumstances, with food that's limited, with people sharing everything. And when you're traveling with your friends, it does not feel like, you don't have to adjust about it like anything in anyhow. It just feels nice, you're there, you're doing something, you have a purpose in life, you're there for a reason. And then it teaches you a lot of things. You're not taught all these things like back at home. My father won't teach me, like, how to ride in like a 12, how to ride in a mountain with 12 people following you along, and then how to adjust to different food, different circumstances, how to sleep in a place which is not really like, let's say luxurious, but at the still time accommodating. So all these things matter too much, for like all of us, I guess. And it has changed us, in like a lot of aspects in life. Like we can go anywhere now, even if we don't have like anything, we have touch wood we have in life. So even if we don't have anything of that sort, we'll be able to adjust in the first place. It's all because you do all these things in your life. That's it.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, because like we learn, even when you're riding, we learn a lot of other things as well. So my next question is to both of you is anything which surprised you while doing that adventure or any adventure, and any cultural learning, something that surprised you, or something about food or the geographical beauty.
I'll let you take it first, Adam.
Yeah.
What was the question again? I'm really sorry.
Yes. So I wanted to ask that when we take an expedition like this, like Shimla, riding from Shimla to Spiti, so we learned other things as well apart from adventure, like about something about the geography, something that surprised you during that travel, or something which was a cultural learning for you, or something which you really found interesting in terms of food. So would you like to share anything?
Yeah, I guess, learning is not just like in one aspect. You learn about the geography, you learn about the history, you learn about the culture, you meet new people. So we went to a monastery there. We,
Yeah, Chitkul. Yeah.
we didn't really, yeah, we like cycled all the way to that monastery, key monastery, I guess that was the name I remember. So we were too hungry, like we were really famished, so we wanted food, we wanted to have like good food there. So we went to a cafe just while we were waiting for the people to come by. So we spoke to the people out there, and they were so nice. So you know, just living their life with a mission, just doing things that they like for themselves. And it's not easy to open up a cafe in such a place, and then talking to people and then meeting people from different countries. And we met a few bike riders from different countries like Canada and the US. They were on the road for like more than a month or so. And when you talk to them about it, it's like you're sharing a mutual feeling without you know having boundaries between yourselves. It's like one feeling that unites people. And you learn about the geography, when it rains, when it does not rain, is it summer there, is it heat, is it cold, how do you adjust towards the temperature, and then food. Yeah, so all these things matter a lot. And it's not just about the adventure, it's also about when you really visit the place, you stay there for like throughout. You're there. It's not like you're only there when you're riding on a bicycle. You're there throughout, in and out. So that matters a lot.
Cool, cool. Krishnam, you have anything to say
Yes.
on this? Yeah.
I feel that I have stayed in the northern plains my entire life, be it Delhi, be it Kanpur, be it Gwalior, and I've met the similar kind of people throughout my life. But when I went to Spiti, I feel that the people there were extremely different and extremely sweet.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example with a short story. So we were on the sixth day of our biking, and we were passing, and we did not have water at that point of time. Our bottles were empty, so we stopped in a shop and asked for limca. Now, limca is something which was like heaven's drink at that point of time for us. So we asked for limca, but they said that they did not have limca. So the old man of that house came outside and he saw us that since we were biking, he asked us to wait for 5 minutes, and he went on his scooter to some distant place that we were not aware of, just to bring us two bottles of limca and hand it over to us free of cost. He did not charge a rupee for that. And I was shocked to see that. I was like, how sweet people can be. So this is something that was astonishing to me. It was extremely appealing, and there's something that you do not get to see in northern plains of India like Delhi or Kanpur. Secondly, the geographical beauty of Spiti has led me to, have a keen interest in photography. Since I explored the Spiti Valley, I had my phone, and these days the phone cameras just work well. So I did a lot of photography there, and since then I bought a camera for myself. I have been doing astrophotography, and I have been really far away on that same track. So the geographical beauty of Spiti is exquisite. It is great, and I feel it is the most scenic mountain cycling expeditions one could ever go for or attend. And cultural history, of course, we had gone to the Tabo monastery, we had gone to the Key monastery, where something which I have never seen, the family has to donate one child of their own to the monastery, and he has to go and study there and be a monk after that. This is something that I did not know. This is something that was extremely astonishing for me. But they do it, and they do it religiously on purpose, which is great in a sense. They have a lot of faith in their religion, and it is just, it was a life changing experience for me, I would say that.
Definitely. We all remember that expedition. In fact, for Jitendra also, and for both of us also, then we had just started out. So that was a really good experience for us. Jitendra, you want to ask anything? You have any questions?
Well, I was just, I'm audible first of all because my
Yes,
connection.
yes, you are audible. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I just, when you guys were telling me experience of the most difficult day and all those things, it just reminded me of the last day. So I don't know how well you remember that day or not, but like we did a long, like 10 hours on bike, and then we boarded this, our backup vehicle, and we were supposed to go to the hotel. And that night, okay, so I mean, for me, it was most uncomfortable night I've seen. A lot of very uncomfortable one. Even for me, it was very uncomfortable. But for you guys, like, so just like what happens in the process, sometime like at that moment we have some feeling. Okay, we are so much. I mean, it was cold. we didn't have proper place to sleep also because we had to sleep in the van itself. Okay, and we get frustrated. And but when we look back at the things, so did it really happen to you guys? Like I mean, when you look back at that day and remembering that night, cold night in the back of vehicle, do you like have any kind of like? I mean, from that day, do you have anything to look back?
Are you answering first, Krishna?
Okay, sure. So I truly remember that night. I do, and that day was extremely tiring for all of us. We had to cross
Yeah.
waterfalls, and that was the day when we actually passed the Kunzum Pass. So that was the toughest day of all the days of cycling, I feel so. And then since the waterfall and there was some avalanche in the frontier, so we could not go to the main village where we
Yeah.
were supposed to reach. So we had been stuck in a traffic jam, and in the backup vehicle, just sitting there throughout the night, waiting for it to open in the morning and then going forward. So, of course, we were all in the van, and then we stepped out. We talked about things. We said, Kya hua hai? What has happened after? When can we go forward? And there were bikers from Gujarat. I remember speaking to them. I remember having that tea at 4 a.m. in the night. And I mean, that was great. That experience was an extraordinary one. I can never ever do it with my family or maybe with my friends. But spending that night in that van and talking about movies and talking about the expedition itself and gossiping about the bikers who had been there for 6 hours now and not ordered a cup of tea and just using the space, I feel that was something different that I would not have been able to experience if I would not have been in the cycling expedition.
Correct.
Yes, Rhythm.
So yeah, I remember there was the I can double quote that was the most horrible night we've had. So we were looking forward to guest rooms or maybe a lounge around. Like we could like do anything just to have a good night's sleep. We were so tired, and you know we even checked out like restaurants and hotels. Just because people were stuck there, everything was open back then. So we remember lying on a table in front of a place where we served chai and all. And I remember lying in that specific bench for like 15-20 minutes just because I was so tired and I couldn't sleep back in the van. And yeah, as Christian mentioned earlier, we went out. We stepped out to get some air, and then we met a few bikers, very cool people, double quotes. So I wouldn't say like it was something bad, but I still remember. So everything that adds on to my memory in a positive sense is good for me, I guess. So I've learned a lot from it. And it just tells you and teaches you life is unexpected. Whatever happens next, you don't really know what's gonna happen. So you better like take the chance, live in the present, and just do what feels right. That's what we guys did. And I remember like that was one hell of a night.
Yeah, for the
Definitely. Night below the stars, and it was great.
Yeah.
Definitely. It was nice.
yeah, I mean, for the people who will listen to this later, for the audience, I would like to tell them that that day we were riding from Tabu, and then we crossed Kunzum Pass. And after Kunzum Pass, after everybody crossed Kunzum Pass, which is at the height of 5,000 meters, everybody was tired, and our expedition ended after a few kilometers. Like Jitendra, do you remember the name of the place where we?
Yeah. So actually, because that day we first we did Kunzum Pass.
Yeah.
Then I mean, people who have been to Kunzum Pass, that road is like full of gravel, so you have to be careful. Even coming downhill is very difficult. Like on your hands, vibration and everything. Then we further rode down 40 kilometers on the so-called flats of the like where you just go downhill, and in between that we cross I think two or three streams, and one of them is called Pagal Nala. And I remember like you guys just came down riding
Yeah.
that big water and all that, and then we ended at a place called Chatru, which is which was just 30 kilometers away from the place where we were supposed to stay. And just I mean, I think on the cherry on the cake was that our bag and everything was gone to the guest house. Our kitchen staff was at guest house. So the only clothes we had, the one which we were wearing or something in our backup vehicle which we had, because our one vehicle was already there, our kitchen staff was already there, and everyone's backpack were in the house, in the guest house actually. So yeah, and we ended up staying at this place.
Koksar.
The name of that place is Koksar, yeah. So
Yeah, so
that's
we
where we
were.
spent the night.
Koksar is a Koksar, in fact, is the first village after you cross Rohtang Pass, and when you come downhill, it's like a roller coaster. Like earlier, we have done it. Like we have rode from Rohtang to Koksar, and it's like a roller coaster ride. And then we are stuck at that village, and then we had to spend the night there. So it was a very uh, experiential in that sort of way, that even though you go through a lot of atrocities, then you take it as an experience, and then you remember later on in life. So yeah, moving on. I had now two questions left. First is uh, when we go to a lot of schools for meetings, and then we want, like, as OLND, as an organization, we want to build a culture of outdoor experiential learning in India. So when we go to schools, expeditions like this, like the kind of expedition you both of you do, Krishnam and Rhythm, that is unheard of. Students are like, okay, I mean, can I really ride 500 kilometers? Can I really ride 600 kilometers on my bike? So, as a student, and both of you are really, really young, and you are how old both of you were when you did that 2 years back?
16 years old.
Yeah, so both of
Yeah,
you
16.
yeah, both of you are 16 did that. So when we go to schools, we try to convince student that yes, this is done, and when then we try to show that yes, people previously, students who are 15, 16, they have done it, they have done such arduous, difficult expeditions. So what would you like to say to students who will hear this conversation? What would you?
Like I said before, that I feel that the difficult part of going to these cycling expeditions is not perhaps the cycling expedition, but asking your parents to agree with you on this. It is
Yes.
extremely tough to convince your Indian parents to go for, because at the age of 16 they are extremely uh, more motivated towards your safety than things like adventure. So all you have to do is push them and ask them to, let you try this. And I'm sure that once you do it completely, they'll be extremely proud of you. At least they were in my case. So I feel that it is something that you all should try, and it is something that you would want to explore in future. And there are precautions that must be taken. There are things that you must keep in mind, like safety issues and everything else. But I'm sure that you should give it a try and see if you are made for adventure or not, because that's how you're ever gonna know, by at least trying it once. So try it, and I'm sure that you'll have a great time, because I had a great time, and all the people in the group, the 14 members of the entire cycling expedition, had a wonderful time, and I'm sure that they'll be able to do it again in the future.
Cool, great, great. Yes, Rhythm.
Yeah. So I want to just say like one thing. It's not impossible. If we guys can like complete it, then I guess anyone who has this in mind can do it too. So as Christian said earlier, it's all about taking a step further, stepping out of your comfort zone and realizing what your true capabilities are. I remember, asking my parents about the same expedition, and they were like, "No, you can't do it." But then, they gave me certain conditions. You have to perform academically well. Only then you go for it. So I remember, like, we were in grade 10th, so we had our boards that year. So I remember convincing my parents that I'll perform really, really well if you let me go. So, I would recommend that's one thing. If you perform really well in your academics, I guess your parents will let you go. Otherwise, it's just important for them to realize that these are something that they'll be proud of for the rest of their lives, because not every child on the planet does something of this sort. So when my parents sent me for an expedition to Mount Everest base camp, they were very proud of it when I returned back, and same event for this too. So they were really happy when I completed the expedition, and then we also got our board results there. So
Okay,
they were
yeah.
pretty satisfied with both of them. So yeah, so it just takes a step to do that in the first place. Otherwise, it's all easy. You have your friends there. You have people that are there to support you, just like you are. So I guess it's just about to take the right step at the right time. That's it.
Cool, cool. Now, my last question is to both of you is what kind of adventure, what kind of outdoors projects you want to do in future? Like, uh, what kind of project you are going to do in future? What what's next?
So cycling was the first adventure activity after rafting. That was on a really small scale, I feel so. And after
Okay.
that, I've done a service project in which we also trekked to the highest village in the world, that is
Okay.
Hikkim, and the
Mhm.
post office there. So I
Mhm.
feel trekking is done for me, cycling is done, rafting is done, but it is not enough. Nothing is enough. It is never enough. So I feel that cycling from Kashmir to Kanyakumari is something that I would want to take up because
Wow.
that's a full stretch,
Okay.
and
Yes.
I think that I'll be able to do it because I know that it is all in the mind, and you have to just tell your body to do it, and it does it. So I feel that cycling expedition from Kashmir to Kanyakumari is something that I'll be able to do it in the future. I feel so. Yes.
Cool. Cool.
Wow.
Yes, Rhythm.
Yeah. So people say I have bigger dreams. I guess I'd like to conquer all of them. So it's just I started with mountaineering, skiing actually. I started with skiing. I have a basic course in skiing. I would want to get an intermediate and an advanced course in the same. And then I've done mountaineering, I've done cycling, I've done basic adventure activities. But I'd be there in Dubai for like next few years. I want to get a skydiving license course, maybe scuba diving license course. And I would want to go beyond India, maybe explore, cycle around Europe. It's very beautiful, and then do something. So I want to do everything that involves risk in some matter, and that makes me a little proud about myself because I just want to be, stuck around in my own boundaries, doing little things. So I want to do as much as I could, and I love traveling, obviously. So I do some photography, travel around the world, and then, try to risk my life while being alive. So yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
Cool. Cool. So it was really great listening to both of yours